I'm Steve Lonegan, and the goal of this training video is to help to prepare you to be the best possible speaker when you represent Senator Ted Cruz at the upcoming Nevada caucuses this Tuesday evening, and help to lead the way for the next President of the United States. So let me talk to you a little bit about how the caucus meeting will go and how you will be presenting. You will have an opportunity sometime during the caucus event to stand up and speak on behalf of the senator, most likely at your precinct meetings, when the chairman of the precinct will ask, is anyone here ready to speak on behalf of their candidate? Some people may offer to do so and they may be prepared. Most likely they won't. My goal is to make sure you're the most prepared speaker there. That can be the very difference in an undecided voter's determination of who they're going to vote for. You're going to be the last person that voter will hear from before casting their ballot. So be prepared to do the best job you can, and practice makes perfect. There are three components to a presentation when you're selling a candidate, a product, or whatever you like to sell. The first step is to get your audience what we call buy-in. Get them to agree with you on the fundamental premise of your argument going into your discussion. The second phase of the presentation is to present to the audience why your candidate fits the bill on those characteristics most needed to be president. And the third part, which most people forget, is to ask for their vote and to get behind your candidate. So let me tell you how we're going to fit this into 3 minutes. I'm going to give you my sample 3-minute presentation that I trained the people at the Iowa caucuses to present, and I'd like you to take this presentation and put it into your own words. Maybe you'll take it verbatim. It's very important that you deliver this with sincerity and passion. Now, sincerity and passion is a great thing, and I can't teach that. But please be reminded, while sincerity and passion is important, the other speakers will also have sincerity and passion. They won't have the content you'll have, and that's what fills out the argument. You'll have 3 minutes, and I'm going to give you now my sample speech. And it'll go like this. You'll be introduced, and speaking on behalf of Senator Cruz is Steve Lonegan. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here tonight. For 7 years, this country has suffered from a lack of character, consistency, and leadership in the White House. While we disagree on who may be the best possible candidate, can we all agree that we need to return character, consistency, and leadership to the Oval Office? So I'd like to talk to you tonight about why Senator Ted Cruz fits the bill for those requirements. Let's talk about Senator Cruz, the man. You know, as a young boy of 8 years old, the senator's family had suffered some very, very difficult times. And at that moment in his life when he could have easily turned to the streets or be misguided youth, he instead turned to Jesus Christ. He turned to God. Now, whether you're Catholic or Christian or Mormon or Jewish or Buddhist, the fact that he turned to God is what the dominant factor here. That takes real character. At the age of 15 years old, the senator fell in love with the Constitution of the United States. He memorized it by heart, verbatim, and he traveled the state of Texas, lecturing on the Constitution of the United States to Rotary clubs and other groups out of his passionate desire to support that Constitution. And he decided to make that Constitution his life's work. So he put himself through Princeton University. Now, his family, remember, had no money at the time. They had no money at all. He raised his own money, earned the scholarships, took the grants, worked 2 jobs, put himself through Princeton University, where he graduated at the top of his class. He then made it into Harvard University, where he graduated summa cum laude and graduated as a degree as a lawyer and specializing in the Constitution. Now, Alan Dershowitz, a leading professor, well-known from Harvard, certainly no conservative, described Ted Cruz as his most brilliant student ever. He went on from Harvard University, where he then clerked for the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, William Rehnquist, one of the most conservative judges of the last 100 years. He then went on to be Solicitor General of Texas, where he wrote over 60 legal briefs on key constitutional issues for key cases, including 9 that went to the U.S. Supreme Court. He authored the critical 33-state amicus brief and the critical Heller versus District of Columbia decision, in which by 1 vote the Supreme Court upheld the right of every American to keep and bear arms in their own home. The Second Amendment was on the verge of being wiped from the Constitution. It was Senator Ted Cruz's key amicus legal brief who made sure we had that extra vote to defend that fundamental right. He also argued a case that defended Americans from allowing world courts decisions or briefs to be used in American court decisions, a fundamental issue of sovereignty. He also fought a Supreme Court battle to defend the right of Texas to have the Ten Commandments displayed on state property, a fundamental issue of freedom of religion. Senator then went on to become a U.S. Senator, and he has led the battle for the things we believe in the U.S. Senate. He led a leading filibuster on October 1st, 2013 to stop the funding of Obamacare. He led the effort against the Iranian treaty, including holding a rally in Washington, D.C., in which even Donald Trump had to attend. He led the effort to stop and to the advancement of the infamous Chuck Schumer, Marco Rubio Gang of Eight amnesty bill, a bill that would have given American citizenship to over 7 million undocumented workers, I should say undocumented Democrats. Senator Cruz has shown the character, the consistent support of the Constitution, and the leadership that this country so desperately needs. And at this moment in time, when we certainly understand now the importance of the president appointing judges, who else but Senator Ted Cruz would you want making those critical appointments to the U.S. Supreme Court and defending your United States Constitution? I know it's Senator Ted Cruz. I hope you agree with me, and I hope you'll join me in backing Senator Ted Cruz tonight and making him our Republican nominee. Thank you, and God bless you. Now, folks, that's a little bit more than the 3 minutes you'll be allowed, but I wanted to give you some substance to work from, and also to give you the format of a speech that you can put into your own heart and that you can deliver without having to read from a piece of paper. 3 minutes is 480 words. I highly recommend to those of you that are going to present that you write that speech out and that you rehearse it. If you'd like some coaching on that, if you'd like to meet with me or come into the office to go over your speech, I'd be more than happy to spend time with you on achieving that. I hope this video helps you very, very much. I'm available at the camp headquarters right now through the Caucus events and look forward to meeting you personally. Thank you, and let's get on to victory for Senator Ted Cruz.